Hey everybody, it's Yanni Collins from Oz Living, where we feature serial entrepreneurs, thought leaders, and prominent figures in the blockchain space. And with me today is Leslie Daniel Chan. He's the founder of DeFi Singapore, Singapore's first cryptocurrency DeFi trading educational community that was established in 2020. So Leslie, great to meet you.
Thank you for having me here, Yanni.
I've heard so many wonderful things about you and what you're doing and the giant community that you've built in this space. Tell me, when did you get into this industry and how you started?
So I started in 2015, considered a pioneer in Singapore space, and I've been educating the public since then for 7 years now. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And what was the catalyst for you to come in the space?
Well, it was Bitcoin's price, right? There was from 300 that jumped to 700 back then, and in a short span of 2 years, it actually jumped to 3,000 to 7,000. So, so I was very curious as to why this actually happened, and is this the next big thing? You know, like I was looking out for the next big thing since I was too young in the internet boom itself. So cryptocurrencies and blockchain, the technology itself was, interestingly enough, something that was very nascent in its time in 2015. So I decided to, you can dive deep, understand the tech a bit more, and see where it would be, where the opportunities would be to lead forward to where we are today.
And there's so many facets of blockchain technology. Which one are you most fascinated about?
Well, when I teach my classes, and tell my community about the blockchain itself, the technology itself, Bitcoin being the granddaddy of all, basically, and Ethereum, the grandmother of all things, right? For blockchain itself, it is because of the smart contract that and the advent of the smart contract from Ethereum itself that allowed to have this whole multitude of blockchains that's available in the market. So. If given a choice, I would still think Ethereum is one of the stronger competitors, but you have the likes of Solana and the newer blockchains that's in the space. So it was still very young in our industry. So I'm excited to see what further innovations, further developments of new projects that blockchains that may arise from the future. Yeah.
It's so funny that you called the Bitcoin as a grandfather and Ethereum as a grandmother. It's first time I heard it. It's funny.
This is just to make it easy for everyone to understand, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Like the hierarchy of the tokens. And now going on to the trends in the space, what have you identified?
So what I was actually looking at is the Ethereum space and the smart contract space, where I think the evolution of where the consensus model is going from proof of work to proof of stake. Hopefully, in the next few years or so, Ethereum would come to pass as the biggest and strongest contender for the smart contracts that's going to be used for a lot of projects anyway. So. Most of the blockchains that's available are using some form of fork of Ethereum, which is the EVM compatibility. So hopefully one of them would do something, to that change to that nature. So I think in the near future we will specifically look. I'm specifically keeping an eye out on Ethereum specifically. Like for anything else that's more interesting in the space, for sure, because they are still in a very early stage. Yeah, in a very, very early stage. So, yeah, who knows? Yeah.
I think you can agree with me on this. The industry is rapidly growing. However, we're still at the immature stage. And with many half-believers, crypto skeptics that are popping out, what is your process to educate them about crypto?
Well, we always put it in such a way that, from a regulatory point of view, it's still not regulated to some extent. And so from an investment point of view, you should never put in what you cannot afford to lose. That's always the bottom line, right? But what's more important is that there's a crossover between the fiat to crypto and crypto to fiat. So there's that struggle, for that understanding of value. I think that's the basis of every class that I teach, is understanding the value system or the perceived value of any projects that's going to be out there, or even understanding, first of all, what do you value from your dollar value itself. Yeah. So what is that main driver for each individual when you come into the space, and in terms of when we are looking at the perceived value, that $10 can buy me something, versus if I were to put that money into crypto, and how would that be a good value in the future as well. So the bottom line is still never put in what you cannot afford to lose. Come in only when the market is not FOMOing. This is actually the best time because we are experiencing a sort of a downturn. So this is actually a good time for people to start looking and seriously into serious projects that are already in development stage. That would be the best for them to actually look at. Yeah, so that would be my advice to anyone out there. Yeah.
Fantastic. I want to quickly turn into your role being a blockchain officer at the Food Starter. Could you tell us more about your projects?
So because of the knowledge that I have with the technicalities of things, a lot of traditional businesses come to me and say, hey, Leslie, I want to tokenize my business. I want to digitize my business, right? And how do I do that? And because of the knowledge that I carry with the understanding the blockchain aspect and all the different permutations that may come arise, the business models themselves, when they have certain revenue streams and they want to do some form of tokenization, the beauty of it is that in recent years, the NFT space, which is a technology of Ethereum, we are able to actually digitize the businesses much more effectively, because people have been without understanding blockchain, have gotten into the NFT space, and they understand that culture in the first place. And so what I'm bringing to most businesses, especially for Food Starter, is to digitize the physical aspect through and into a digital asset. So phygital is the new hype word, right? So it's phygital, physical and digital coming together. So we're bringing traditional businesses to help them tokenize as a result using NFTs, and as a result, they are able to innovate further for their business and bring new life, in fact, for all business models that they say, I never thought that I could do this, and this is a possibility. And so Food Starter actually helps a lot of farms, traditional farmers, to actually digitize for their processes and their products as well. And they're realizing, oh, you mean I could do this? Then yes, because your business model allows you to adopt the blockchain technology, because blockchain technology is a tech enabler in the first place, right? So and when people discovers that, they are first of all, they have some form of trust with the traditional business, which is the farms, and they say, okay, there are risks involved for this, but yet when they see it with the ease of use in terms of adopting, to be a project supporter on for the farms, the use of the tokens have some form of identity now for them to actually say that I'm actually participating in building a new farm. For example, pig farms in Philippines, right? We have a huge pig farm in Bacolod itself, and we have already had a business for about 4 years at this point of time. And what the proposal I did with the team was to actually digitize the mother pig, right? And then so when the mother pig gives birth to the piglets, and we sell the piglets, there will be that sales of produce, and that will be returned to the NFT holders. So that in and of by itself, that's where we bring the two worlds together, right? We haven't talked about the metaverses, which is happening at this point of time, but yeah, that's another topic entirely.
That's another topic and a different time.
Yes.
Exactly. So just for the last question, how does this all tie up with Oz? Tell me about the partnership.
So we were very Vince and myself, we go way back, right? And humbly, he says that he's learning from me, but we are always learning from each other. And Vince is a great guy. So we came up with the idea that say, hey, look, if I'm going to do certain things, and what we are always after is that crypto businesses should always come together to unite and present a good way towards the public for that matter. And Oz Finance actually helped us to provide the NFT support and the exchanges that's brought forth in Philippines itself as well. So the synergy that came forth as a result is a no-brainer, especially when we have pig farms in the Philippines, and one of the exchanges that Oz Finance is very closely related to is GTX basically. So that's when we decided to say, hey, let's form up the business in Philippines and let's do the business in Philippines itself. Could you help us for that matter as well? So. And to top it off, he actually, told us that you can actually get residency, in the form of staking Toto's token itself, which is a very new way of understanding how residency work in the first place. And it's really interesting because of his background and his connections to the governments as well. So, so I like that in terms of how our businesses could be supported, especially with someone who could introduce us to the governments as well. So that's the what Oz Finance is doing for us as well. Yeah,
I love it. And as it goes without saying, the crypto community, WAGMI, we're all gonna make it.
Yes, we're all gonna make it. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Leslie, for joining me. It was such a pleasure having you here, and we look forward to having you again soon.
Thank you.